Welcome to Callawegin Fly Fishing with Robert Smart. Now, here's Robert.
Greetings. Now this video, I'm going to talk about how to make a fly tying video. This is the second in a series of how-tos that I'm making. The first one was on how to make a fly fishing video. This one's fly tying. There's not a whole lot to it, but there's a few tricks I've learned. I looked at tons of fly tying videos to see how people did them. Did a bunch of my own research, studied various equipment I could use, and came up with the approach I'm going to tell you about. Like in my other video, got a cheat sheet because my memory's not that good. Okay, when I make a fly tying video, I like to give a little entry talk to describe the fly, the history of it if I know it, who the originator was if I know that, I'll give them credit, how I use the fly, what fish it'll catch, anything I can think of that might help you use this fly that we're going to tie. Okay, my first fly tying videos, I used my iPhone. I just took an iPhone bracket and used the camera on it because I could get real close. I had to do a little work to get it in focus, but I could get close enough to make the videos. I really wanted to use my GoPro because it's got autofocus and a lot more adjustments that I can make. But how was I going to get it where I could zoom in close enough? See, just standard GoPro, anything closer than 12 inches from your subject is out of focus. So what I found was I could use a close-up lens. This bracket, it's an adapter for my GoPro 8. I snap it on the camera. It's 58 millimeter thread. Then I've got this 10x close-up lens that just screws onto the bracket in front of the GoPro lens. Works really well. Now, I did a lot of testing with this. I got a set of lenses, 2x, 4x, 6x, 10x, and you can combine them. Well, I thought I can get really close if I do it, a 4x and a 10x. And that worked really well, except my camera had to be about 2 inches away from the fly. It got in my way when I was trying to tie the fly. So I settled on the 10x at about 4 inches away from my fly. And that gave me plenty of room. And that bracket is the same bracket I showed in my how to make a fly fishing video, but I used a polarizer lens in that one. But it screwed into the same bracket, very easy. Now the settings I use on the GoPro for making these videos is 1080p or 1440p at 30 frames per second. It's a little lower light where I'm working, so I don't go with 60, I go with 30 frames per second. Seems to work really well. Okay, before I start making the video, I set out all my material where I can get right to it, all my tools. Everything's easy to access. If I can pre-make something, I'll do that, so not to take up a lot of time during the video. When I made the killer crayfish, I pre-made the eyes by melting monofilament on each end. But when I made the green-eyed damselfly, the eyes were a little more complicated to make, so I showed the full process because I felt like they needed to see that to tie that particular fly. Now I'm going to show you what my setup looks like when I'm ready to start making the video. So I'm going to switch cameras here for a minute and we'll go to that. Okay, basically, here's my setup when I'm ready to start the video. I've got all my tools set out, my reading glasses, my materials, and then my camera with the close-up lens set at about 4 inches from the fly, and that gives me plenty of room to work without hitting the camera. Now for lighting, I've got 2 table lights plus this LED adjustable light that I can adjust as required. It sits basically right over my vise. And with that light, I set it at what they call natural light at about 3/4 of the intensity. That seems to work pretty well. I did various testing on that, and that worked out well for me. Okay, when you're ready to go, just tie the fly. Nothing special. Describe what you're doing, each step, any critical ideas you have while you're doing it, mention those so people know, and just go through the whole process. Now, you may end up with a lot of flies in your box. I hate throwing away a fly that I just tied, but making a video, for me, it usually takes me at least about 3 tries to get it right. You know, I might forget to put some ribbing material on. Boom, video's no good. And then when I'm done and I'm looking at the video, the fly just doesn't look right to me. So try again. Well, hopefully the 3rd time it'll be what you want to show on the video. Don't be afraid to redo it. Doesn't cost you a dime to rerun the video to get that fly as close as you can to what you want to show. Well, that's covers about how I make a fly tying video. I hope you might have learned something. Maybe you have a better way of doing it. I hope so. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe.